they found him. Okay, they found him naked with no clothes on. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. And the police assumed that he got killed with no clothes on. So when I come over to the apartment, once I was able to get into the apartment, I'm looking around. They just like left all kind of stuff. As soon as I walk in the door, there's a laundry basket. He kept like a bunch of cleaning supplies and stuff in there. Where there's like blood around like the edge of the laundry basket, and then there's a pair of shorts that's laying right next to the laundry basket. Well, the shorts, the whole butt section is just covered in blood.
So it sounds like you might have had those on.
He had the shorts on. There on the front of the shorts, there was nothing on the front. I mean, they're blood soaked on the back. The shorts are blood soaked. There was a T-shirt. There was like a tan T-shirt that was like folded up. It had like a couple of spots on it. Then there was a white hand towel where it looked like somebody took their hand and did like this and like wiped their hand off. Well, also, I mean, there was blood on the door from like where they went out the door and like it must have been like blood on their pants. It like scraped up against the door. Then there was blood going up the stairwell, like on the hallway, and like that was all still there.
So you had to see all of that.
Yeah, I came back. Yeah, this was like a couple days later after they were done. They finally released the house, and I get to go in and I see all this. So then when I go and meet to pick up with the police officers later and tell them, about the shorts and stuff. Well, no, they didn't know. We found him naked. He didn't get killed with any shorts. And then also there was a pair of tennis shoes. The tennis shoes had blood all over the back of the tennis shoes, as if he had tennis shoes on too. So there was blood on the back of the shorts, and they were tan shorts, and they looked just like that chair. And then the shoes had blood all over the back of the shoes. So then I'm walking around the apartment because it's a little bit bigger than his room probably. So I walk around in the kitchen, at the stove, or at the kitchen sink. There was like blood drippings like in front of the sink, almost like where like, I don't know if maybe he was leaned over. I don't know. Somebody was dripping blood like in front of the sink. There was like blood drippings on the floor. And then there was like one spot of blood on the wall. It was like right next to the bathroom door. And it was like so small. It was just like a little prick. Like it hit the wall and then it just started running down and it just stopped. And that was like the only spot there.
You would think there would have been a lot of blood with that many.
Well, all the blood was in one spot where my dad was laying at.
Okay.
And it was like, it was literally like, it's like that big. It was huge. And then I had to go through this mess with the landlord because what had happened is he was living in the apartments on Taylor, catty corner from the Bowers and Johnsons.
Okay.
Yeah, he was living in those apartments, and I guess the landlord just went down to do a check because the landlord was also friends with my dad, so they talked every once in a while. I guess he went down to check, and when he keyed in the door, he couldn't open the door because my dad was laying right behind the door. Yeah, so his feet were like stopping the door from even opening up.
So the landlord is who actually found him?
Yeah, the landlord is who found him, and then he went ahead and called 911. Once they got there, and I guess they got to looking around, they found out that he'd been stabbed, and I still don't know for sure, but I think he got stabbed like over 40 to 50 times.
So it was definitely a crime of, almost sounds like anger, passion.
Yeah, I don't know, and it was also, all the stab wounds were in his back.
So he was stabbed numerous times?
Yeah, numerous times, yeah, over 20 times. What happened? I think the most frustrating thing is the fact that we know who did it, and we know what happened, and nothing is just seeming to be done.
So have the police told you officially who they think did it then?
Mm-hmm. They're the ones that said, okay. Yeah, they're the ones that said it, yeah.
Do you think it'll ever be solved?
I would have thought it would have been solved by now, honestly. They've done a bunch of testing with KBI and stuff, but evidently my dad's DNA and her DNA were not found together, I guess.
So what were the circumstances surrounding your father's death? Do you know? I mean, or do you kind of know?
Basically, my father, these two were acquaintances, friends of some sort. What it boils down to is that night that it happened, I guess they hung out at my father's apartment and they ordered a pizza. They shared a pizza together because they ordered Pizza Hut and Pizza Hut delivered the pizza. and they said who was there in the apartment which was him and her.
Do you have any idea why? Or is that one of the questions you have?
Well, I know why now that I kind of look at her character. I mean, I first look at the timing when he got killed. He got killed at around the same time that he got his Social Security check.
Do you think it was a robbery?
It was a robbery because for one, he never carries a wallet. All he carried was a money clip. They found his money clip on his kitchen table, empty, and he always would have his driver's license and some money in there. So they found that empty. Well, then when they went around and searching around the house, they found $1,000 in cash in one of his dresser drawers, which would have been probably his bill money or whatever. So it's obvious that it was some kind of robbery motive. I mean, you stabbed him because you thought he had a bunch of money, and my dad is also the type that would, I don't know, have 20s and 10s. So I don't know if the money wad looked like it was a bunch of money, and it was probably only about $200 or $300 if it was that much, probably. So, I mean, after reading about her and hearing different things, I can see her becoming very desperate and trying to kill somebody for a couple $100s. I mean, regardless of what she thinks she's going to get, but I believe that's what it was. It was definitely a robbery. Yeah, but I also just really feel that she has some help.
So you think she's not the only one? Or
I just kind of find it real odd that one person be able to do all those stab wounds to him. I mean,
do you know if he had any other injuries at all, or?
He had nothing on the front. I think he had like a little cut, like on the front of like one of his arms, and like one of his fingers were cut from probably like defensive wound, probably doing something like that.
No, like hadn't been hit over the head.
No,
or anything?
No. His face was fine. No, he had nothing wrong with his face.
That's odd that it's in the back.
It was all in the back. And it happened that evening after the pizza. So what transpired between two people sharing a pizza, I have no idea. And see, what starts to play in my mind is, okay, I've ordered a pizza, and the pizza man comes, and I pull out my money wallet,
and then maybe that person
sees that, and it's just like, oh my God, like, and I know I mean, his Social Security check wasn't that much, so I know he didn't have, and not only that, there was $1,000 in the bedroom, so he couldn't have had that much on his money clip anyway. So I don't know if she looked at that like, oh God, he is rolling now, and I gotta get it. I don't know. I'm assuming she probably asked him for some money, so I'm assuming, and he probably told her no, which could have very easily started an argument right there.
Do you know how your dad knew her? Were they romantically involved?
No, I don't even know how he knew her because I don't know her.
Okay.
And see, with him living in that area, after he got killed, like different people were coming up to me saying, yeah, I know your dad, and I'm just looking at them like, I have no idea who you are. But these would just be people, I guess, in the neighborhood.
But so. You said your dad wasn't involved in any, I mean, he wasn't in
No,
drugs,
not involved in any drugs or anything like that, no.
Crimes?
No, not at all. So that was, if he was shady, I would admit to that and say, you know what, things like this could have happened, but I don't know.
He was on the up and up.
Yeah, I don't know this lady. I didn't know any of these people that were from the neighborhood. I mean, I'd only been to his apartment like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times. I mean, and what's crazy, I mean, I can just picture it to the T. I mean, how everything was laid out in the apartment. So I've never even seen this lady before. So if we were standing next to each other in the store, I wouldn't even know it was her. I mean, now I would off of the pictures that I've seen.
Because you said you've tried to keep tabs.
Yeah, I mean, I look her up on Shawnee County Courts. You know, I watch and see where she's at as far as the Department of Corrections. You know, because I just keep up on everything she does, and she's constantly has different case after case. She's I think she's in there now for stealing. I mean, she's just got like.
Have you ever wanted to confront her?
Confront is a little strong. I mean.
Or ask her, or talk to her?
I would like to talk to her, but, you know, I don't know what kind of answer you're really going to get out of somebody, really. I mean, because she doesn't know me. Mm-hmm. You know, she doesn't know who I am, so I don't know, because I don't really want to badmouth the way, you know, Topeka Police Department handles their investigation, but I just think that...
Do you think everything that could be done has been done in your dad's case?
No.
That's the best question, then.
No. And I think one of the prime I think one thing that it stands out in my mind is the fact that the area in which it happened on 6th and Taylor. So they look at that area like a low income slash what do you say, drug area. My father was actually never has been a drug addict. He owned his own house for over 30 years. He then just went ahead and downsized, and then once my grandmother passed, they went ahead and sold her house, and he just moved into an apartment that would just, he had actually moved down to Texas with my little sister for a little while, and then he moved back to Topeka, and then that's when he moved into that apartment there. And I think they look at the fact that he lived in that apartment, the fact that the person we got killed by is already a shady character anyway, so